It's a very simple business. Here's the game plan. Book and run enough appointments every single week to earn the amount of money that you can control, the amount of money that you need to pay your bills and make however much money that you need to make. Okay. Then invest the rest of your time and energy to developing and scaling an agency that is going to start system driven income coming in while you're still going out and creating and controlling your cash flow. If you invest the rest of your time in that, the cash flow from your business will start growing. And now you're making enough money from your business to pay all of your bills. That's the goal. That's the first goal. When your system driven income is now paying your monthly expenses, now your bills are paid before you ever make a phone call, before you ever run an appointment. You know, that is a very good feeling. Trust me, it's worth working your tail off to do. Welcome to the October month kickoff call. I'm your host, Nate Maddox. I've got a guest hopping on. I'm going to introduce you to in a second. We're going to start it off as we always do. Read over the leaderboards last month, everybody that went out and made it happen. I've got some housekeeping notes and some things I want to share with you guys, and also a pretty big announcement I'm pretty excited about that I'll hold to the end. So let's get it kicked off with some numbers. Last month we did 137,532. All of you guys on the call, congrats to everybody that went out and made it happen last month. That's what we did in submit. Before the month closed, we paid out $105,233 of business. So great job, everybody. The average annual premium per application last month in September was $1,348. That's $1,300. So a little higher than last year's, and it'll probably plane back out as months go by. It usually stays around $1,200. I like to call it $1,100 per application whenever I'm doing projections and game planning and things. So I'm going to read off the numbers for last month. If you're new, just remember we all start at a 70% contract. So everybody that's on the leaderboard is somewhere between 70 and 120% of the numbers, but I like to live by the rule of 50%. So whatever numbers you hear, just cut that in half, and their paychecks, at least that. Last month in September, Mr. Dan Sanders, first application, man, making your debut to the leaderboard. Dan, your name looks good on the leaderboard, my friend. $1,223 last month in his first application. Mr. Mike O'Shea, $4,191. Brad Schmidt, $7,015 of premium. Josh Harriet, getting some momentum built. $7,621 last month. Josh, good job. Miss Stephanie Owens, $8,110 sent in last month. Myself, yours truly, $9,128. Mr. Tyler Nelson, man, you are getting your processes down, being consistent. Best month, first few months in the business, but this is your best month last month, man. Congrats. You sent in $9,606 of premium. Top three, Miss Kim Crosby, $16,036 in the number 3 spot. Number 2 spot, Mr. Gorgeous George Ramel, $27,923 last month. Great month, George. And there can only be one number one. With taking the whole family down to Disney World, still snuck in Christian Pounder, number one, $50,000, $50,000, y'all, of personal production. Hey, Disney World is not cheap, right, Christian? So nice month, my friend. And hey, a lot of people getting it in early. Month to date, we're 4 days into the month. George, $3,627 so far for the first 4 days of the month. Mr. Ben Gardner, making your debut to the leaderboard, man. Excited for you, buddy. First app in, $4,074 new to the leaderboard. So congratulations, Ben. Kim Crosby, you're already at $4,218 this month. Myself, $4,957. Josh Harriet making a jump on the month, $6,310 in the last 4 days. And Christian Pounder is over $12,000 already, $12,126. Going to be a big month. October usually is a big month. The run from now between October and basically Christmas, December 20th, we historically see a ton of production that is created here, and a big boost to our to our annual income at the end of the year. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do to put yourself in position to win and create some consistent cash flow through till Christmas. A couple housekeeping notes. Currently, we have $49,000 in pending business. So want to encourage you guys, especially if you're new, if you need help, reach out to me. But that represents a lot of money that is coming. So that's good, coming to your bank account. But I want it to get in your bank account. So, if you have a pending policy that hasn't been issued yet, call the insurance carrier, find out why it's pending, what it's pending for, whatever they need, send it to them. If for some reason, you made a mistake or you didn't write the right policy and they're not going to approve it, find out why it's not going to get approved, figure out what it is. That way you can look at the underwriting guides and find another carrier. These are families that are, they're counting on you. They're trusting you with their family's future. If you submitted an app on someone, that means they're counting on you to get them covered. So just because, if something comes up they didn't know about or they decline a policy, make sure you do, be a professional. Make sure you do your due diligence. If you need help, reach out. Let's make sure we get them covered. That way they don't lose their house when something happens to them. So got a few minutes with a special guest here. I'm excited to hang out with. If you've been on the live stream at all, or you've gotten on the Saturday morning live dial sessions that Chuck and Dave do down in the Fort Lauderdale office, then you have seen his face before. That's where I've got to know Christian. Christian is pretty new in the business with us, but man, he is consistent. Every time I hop on the stream, he's on there, he's working, he's dialing. I know he's got an appointment at 1:30. So I won't keep you long, Christian, but man, Christian has record on their computer. All right, I approved you. Christian, is donating his time to us. Wanted to jump on, but with him being new and starting to get some momentum, Christian, you sent in just under 10 grand last month. So I wanted to just bring you on, introduce you to the team. If they're going to be hopping on the live stream, I know they'll see a lot of you. So without further ado, Mr. Christian Dean, how are you, my friend?
Nate, I'm doing fantastic, man. I appreciate you having me on here. It's very humbling. Like you said, I'm relatively new on this side of the business. I was a financial rep at Northwestern Mutual for a little bit over a year and a half before. And now I've realized that this is a lot better of an opportunity to create change. So thanks for having me. Looking forward to speaking.
Awesome. So you are where? Let them know what office are you out of? Where are you located, my friend?
Yes. So down here in sunny South Florida, I am direct to Dave Schneider. So he's my upline, the one who introduced me to the business. So Miami office for Equus coming soon, guys.
Awesome. Hey man, congrats, dude. I talked to some chart people down in Miami this morning, actually. A lot of excitement going down in that market. So just wanted to ask you a couple of things. Are you working on building an agency? Are you working towards sales manager or anything like that? What's
Absolutely.
what's your next goal? What's your next what is Christian Dean pushing for right now?
Hey, sales manager is the hardest position to get to. Everything after that's a little bit more challenging. So I'm working right now to sales manager, got some active writers, almost there. So hopefully, if not this month, by next month. I even actually was just recruiting right before I got on this call. So an awesome guy who is doing Medicare and is looking for the next opportunity to really make something for himself. And I just sent him the link, and he's actually on here too. So you can
Oh,
never stop building. You never can stop.
incredible, man. I love that. There's a lot of people on the call that, I've partnered with a lot of these people to help them get to the sales manager position, get that thousand. That's kind of your starting level as far as, the business aspect of this goes. Get that $1,000 monthly bonus, and it goes up from there. So what are you doing for? How are you talking to the people whenever you're looking for people to potentially partner with and bring on into the business? How are you finding people?
When I started, I was doing it almost like this was like it's a blessing, but just too optional. And I've changed a little bit from saying, "Hey, volunteer army, do it on your own time," to emphasizing how we invest our time into the people we bring onto our team, and that our time is, of course, valuable. So just making sure that people we bring on are, whether they're just going to be part-time agents or they're going to be full-time and building an agency for themselves, really just helping them understand what we have to offer here and making sure that they're going to be putting to put the work in, because I think everyone knows that all we can do here is promise a hard time. So
That's the truth. So we see you on the live stream, always working, always on the phone. How are you running your appointments, Christian? We've got a lot of new people on right now. Are you doing a hybrid? Are you running strictly virtual appointments? Are you going out face to face? What is Christian Dean doing to write this 10 grand you wrote last month?
yes, all of the above. As new agents, nothing beats in-person experience. So if someone's willing and you're able to go meet with them in person, I mean, why go through whereby? So if someone's open to it, I'm happy to go meet with them in person. I cover all of Miami-Dade County. So I have the direct mail leads coming to me from Miami-Dade. Um, so if I can, great. I'm trying to focus with that on Miami leads, and then everyone else we're doing virtual. So typically I'd say, let me break it down to like 90% virtual, about 10% in person.
Okay. So in your current market, if they're close to you, you want to go see them face to face, but you're
hmm
not stuck there geographically. You're branching out. Are you working? Do you have any licenses in other states? Are you calling, booking appointments in other states virtually as well?
And I was gonna say too, my in-person close ratio is about 75%. It's very off. It's not very likely that I'm walking into a house and not helping them. But yeah, I cover a lot of different counties here in Florida. So Pinellas, so that's Central Florida, um, and Texas. I just turned off my Texas lead order. I realized that it just wasn't working too well for me. But that's the important thing: is you realize what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses. So that's what's been working for me so far. Between those, so the new leads, and then mixing in some older leads as well.
Awesome, man. Well, Christian, keep it up, buddy. Love to see you on there. Love to see you making moves. I've enjoyed getting to know you. On the link there. Are you going to be in Cincinnati? Are you flying up to the leadership December 6th meeting?
Absolutely. If this is a business where you keep your head down and you keep pushing, the results will come. And it's great to be able. Christian Pounder, I know we haven't had a chance to really interact too much at all, but man, I've seen there's a video of you doing the DRT at a mock appointment. I've watched that 50 times already, at
Hey,
least. And
where,
I've
where
just
can they
broken
find
down.
that? Where can they find that video that you're talking about? Is that posted somewhere where they can find it?
Um,
If you would send that to me, and I'll edit it and put it on the PTP site for you guys too. So,
there you
man,
go. Yeah.
thanks for hopping on and spending some time with us, Christian. Keep rocking, dude. I'm watching you. We see you, buddy. I think that you'll definitely be hitting sales manager and getting that bonus here, like you said, man. I mean, everything's falling into place. If not this month, then next month. So I know you got
Hey,
to hop off and catch a call. So thanks for hopping on, my friend.
thanks for having me, Nate. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. All right.
You too, buddy. We'll see you soon. See you in the morning, actually. So,
Absolutely.
if you
Super
guys,
Saturday Dial session. See you there.
all right, buddy. So, we have the live dials Saturday morning, every Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. The link is on one of the first links on the PTP site. So, even if you're new or waiting on your license or in contracting, really encourage you to hop on that. It's real life, good, bad, and ugly of everything. You guys know that I love real life. This thing is no better than it is. These insurance companies pay us exceptionally well, but they pay us exceptionally well for being very good at what we do, right? Christian, did they start paying you exceptionally well until you got really good at what you do, right?
They did not. They didn't.
Yeah, I remember. But that's why we do these calls. That's why we spend so much time with the daily coaching call, and had to learn how to edit videos and everything. We want to help you collapse time frames and get really good. So, guys, I've got a lot that I want to cover with you. I'm excited about the cycle we're in. Interest rates are going to be coming down. I'm excited about the time of year. There's a lot of big things happening, and I'm hyper focused on a couple markets, and finding the right people, getting them stabilized in business before that wave comes. Those that have been around for a while, maybe through the last cycle, or George, whenever we, kind of kicked this thing off in 16, 17, man, interest rates were low. There was 100 lead requests in counties, all of that's coming again. So I really want to encourage everybody to understand that and get in position. You have to be in position to win before you win. So our business is the opportunity that we have here. It's twofold. I mean, first part, the ability to control our cash flow and increase our cash flow and control our own schedule, create our own personal schedule, by utilizing all of our collective experiences, to shorten your learning curve, all the resources and tools that of our awesome partners give us. They don't charge us for any of this stuff, but that personal production, being able to create a six-figure plus income by helping families, managing your own schedule without having some boss micromanaging you, breathing down your neck. That is incredible. The second part, having an opportunity to a viable, real opportunity to create an asset, a cash flowing, consistent cash flowing asset with system driven income through taking all of these resources and leveraging our team and scaling an agency like Christian Dean is doing, putting that first 3-man sales crew together, that's paying system driven income. And there's not many ways to do that without a huge capital investment or, having to approve for credit and incurring debt to, be able to create an asset like that. So, I mean, I started my business on $300 broke, we've done over $13 million of business, created over $13 million of business, and we're just getting started. I don't feel like we've done anything yet. We've got a lot of good talent that is, coming on with us, and the future looks bright. So right place, right time. I want to, as most of you know, if I'm going to spend 30 minutes with you, I really want to be talking about the second part of that business, because that's my passion, is helping you scale an agency, and really build that system driven income. But today we're going to be focusing on the first part. Developing a business is exciting, but we got bills to pay. You got bills to pay, right? So, you got to pay your bills. You got to focus on getting your process down, getting your skill set, mastering that enough to be able to know what you have to do every single week to pay your bills. Like, here's the game plan. It's a very simple business. Here's the game plan. Book and run enough appointments every single week to earn the amount of money that you can control, the amount of money that you need to pay your bills and make however much money that you need to make. Okay. Then invest the rest of your time and energy to developing and scaling an agency. That is going to start system driven income coming in while you're still going out and creating and controlling your cash flow. If you invest the rest of your time in that, the cash flow from your business will start growing, and now you're making enough money from your business to pay all of your bills. That's the goal. That's the first goal. When your system driven income is now paying your monthly expenses, now your bills are paid before you ever make a phone call. before you ever run an appointment. That is a very good feeling. Trust me, it's worth working your tail off to do. So I want to speak to the newer people for a minute. The people I've been, thinking a lot about this and kind of reflecting. Christian, this is going to sound pretty familiar, buddy. I was looking back in the notes, in George, whenever we were trying to carve out, whenever we were first doing this, like trying to make our first, 6 figures that first year, and kind of the game plan and strategy that we did this. So you want to have something to write with. I'm going to give you some stuff that you'll probably want to write down. Okay. So here is the best strategy to develop that process and control your skill set, control your cash flow. Okay. It's a 3-part, it's a 3-phase goal setting type strategy. Okay. Phase 1. And it's tough to do this mentally because we want results, right? Like we're after results. However, you can't necessarily focus on the results right away because you don't have your process down. Like focusing on the process, the results are a byproduct of everything else. Okay. So here is, the takeaway. If you're, still developing your skill set and trying to get your processes down, first mission right here, phase 1, set goals that are activity based goals or dials. Okay. You want to collect and track the data, track everything and collect data for about 4 or 5 weeks. So personally, I had, whenever I was starting, I would say, hey, I'm going to dial the phone 250 times. I'm going to dial it. So there's an example, 300 dials a week. Let the chips fall where they may. Who knows how many appointments you're going to book? But if you hit 300 dials or whatever goal that you set, you did your job. Let the chips fall where they may, but collect all that data, run that for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, okay? And then go into phase 2. So the first part is activity-based goals because you can control that. You can control if you set a goal to, hit the phone 300 times in a week. You can control if you stop at 280 or if you stop at 250 or if you achieve your goal, okay? So start with that. Run that strategy for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, then pause, analyze all of your data. Get with me. We can break stuff down. Analyze that data. Based on the data, you'll start knowing how many dials it takes to create an appointment. Okay. So we'll analyze that data and create an action plan for phase 2. Okay. So the next, 4 weeks or so, the next month after that, phase 2 is now you're going to change your goal to still an activity-based goal, but it's going to be based on appointments, right? So now you're going to know exactly how many appointments you want to run every single week. So for us, and George and Christian will be nodding their head, for us, we didn't have the option to do Zoom at that time. We had to see people face to face, but we knew our numbers. Eventually we knew that if we got our processes down, then however many appointments we booked, cut that in half. That's how many applications we would have. The problem is we're still getting our processes down like you might be right now. So our number was 15 appointments. So that was my first goal whenever I went into phase 2 to book X amount of appointments a week. My personal goal was 15 appointments per week and let the chips fall where they may. I can control if I keep dialing and I booked 15 appointments this week, or if I got 13 appointments and got tired or distracted or said, oh, that's good enough, right? Because I knew that if I booked 15 appointments, I've got a lot of room to screw it up and still write 5 applications that week, okay? So 15 appointments guaranteed me 5 applications. And with our system, even if you stayed at a 70% contract your entire career and you never got a contract raise, which we get every 2 months to hit your numbers, but even if you stayed at a 70 forever and you wrote 5 applications per week, you would still make 6 figures. So it's impossible not to make six figures in a year if you write your name on 5 applications and send them in every week to the insurance companies. Okay. So my goal was 15 appointments. That way I would get 5, but I didn't focus on the results. I was just worried about the 15 appointments. Now you're going to collect all of this data. You're going to hit whatever your personal goal is. I'm not here to, set your goal for you. If you're running virtual, you probably need to book more because it's a lot easier for them to, this is the easiest thing to procrastinate about in the world for people, right? They know they need to do it. They know they need to do it, right? And they will if you make it easy on them, but they're going to put it off. So, virtual, you're going to have a lot of rollover. So maybe, you want to book more appointments every week. We can talk to Christian about that. He's the authority when it comes to, running a virtual business, strictly virtual business plan. Now, you will have enough data if you run that strategy for 4 weeks to now we can analyze that data and create, going into phase 3, a result based goal. That's where you say, all right, my week's not over until I write 5 applications, right? But you'll know how many appointments you need at that point. Working that 3-phase strategy, you'll know how many appointments you need to be able to set an accurate game plan and action plan to put yourself in position to ensure the number of apps that you need. So the number of apps times the average. Last month was 1,300, but we're going to say it's 1,100. However many apps times $1,100 times your contract, 70, 80%, whatever you're at, that's your income, right? So now you can know how much income you need to pay your bills. You focus on that. You spend the rest of your time and energy starting to build the business, starting to develop that system-driven income. Phase 1, activity-based goal, and a number of dials that you're going to set out to hit every single week. You're going to run that, collect data for about 4 or 5 weeks. Then you're going to go to phase 2, X amount of appointments every single week. Run that for the next month. Then on phase 3, you know exactly how many appointments. After that, after running that phase 3 that last month, if you are part-time, if you run that for 90 to 120 days, following that game plan, at the end of that, if you are not on a run rate to make at least $50,000 part-time secondary income, part-time money, then I can say this probably isn't the best fit for you. Seriously. But you have to run the plan. I want to mention one thing. My biggest fear is for someone to think that they're going to get some kind of result. They're excited about it. They think they're going to achieve this thing, but they're not doing what it takes to achieve what they want, right? That's my biggest fear. Like, everything has a price. We've got people on the call right now, make 10, 20, 30, 40 grand in a month. Okay. That is achievable thing to do, but there's a price that comes along with that. And I want you to know what the price is. So that's why I want you to collect the data. I can tell you what the averages are, blending all of our activity together, and tell you, what the average conversion ratio is for, virtual versus face-to-face and all of these things. But you don't know your numbers. After the end of this 3-phase process, you will have your specific data. Like if we say, hey, the average application or average premium per application we wrote, collectively as a team last month was $1,348. That's great. But what was yours? So whenever you're setting up your action plan, you need to know your specific numbers. That way it'll be dialed in and you can run this properly. Thanks, Christian. Run this properly as a business. Okay. So here's what I see a lot of times go wrong. Okay. Whenever someone sets up their action plan and their game plan, they set it up to where this is what I would have to do if everything goes right. If everything goes perfect, right, George? If everybody answers the phone, right? If everybody shows up at the appointment, if no one has health problems, right, and everyone cares about their family, like if everything goes right, I only got to book 10 appointments. Well, maybe, but this is real life, and everything doesn't go right. And I can tell you, there is a period of time whenever you are really anything, from my experience, anything that I set out to do to better myself, right? Whether it's, form a new career or, grow a business or even try to, focus on my fitness or diet for whatever reason, there is a period of time, right? Where it's like Murphy's law is against you. You go to start going to the gym and, you're going to do it. And then you go take the trash out or something and you pull a muscle in your back. Well, now you can't go to the gym for another week, right? Cause your back's hurt. You know, I can't explain to you why this is, but I can tell you so you will know when this is happening. Whenever you are set out to, increase your cash flow or get your skill set down, there will be a period of time where it feels like everything is working against you. Like Murphy's Law is in full effect. Okay. Now, I can't tell you when it happens, but based on my personal experience, eventually the tide shifts and things just start working for you. Before we started the call, Josh Harriet was on and he said, because Josh is getting his momentum back and building his momentum up. It's the 4th day of the month, and Josh, dude, you've already sent in $6,300 in the first 4 days. And I was like, hey, Josh, man, great kickoff to the month, $6,000 in 4 days. He said, well, just got lucky. Some things are falling in my lap. And I said, isn't that funny how that works? The harder you work, the more appointments you book, the luckier you get. Like eventually the tide changes and starts working for you, and then things are just starting to happen. So understand that that's what it's going to look like, whenever you set out on this, phase 1, 2, 3 process. I don't know what it is going to be, but I can tell you that something is going to be working against you. Your phone will break, something will happen, right? So expect it, welcome it, right? And be ready for it. We don't want this to be easier. Like, be careful. I don't want one of you guys, I want to make sure you guys understand that. I don't want you to be like at a garage sale and buy an old lamp and it have a genie in there and you get a wish and you wish for this stuff to be easier. Okay. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better and work on getting better. Because if your genie wish comes true and this all becomes easier, dude, they're not going to pay us $1,000 for talking to somebody for 40 minutes. They're not going to pay us this much money. So don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Get a game plan. Constantly work on your craft. Read a book. This book right here. How I Raised My. This is probably the first book I would recommend reading for getting your process down and controlling your cash flow. How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. It should have been called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling Life Insurance, because that's what it's about. But that would have not have been good marketing, I guess. This guy, Frank Betker, sold over $1 million worth of life insurance with no iPhone, no GPS during the Great Depression, running appointments, and all of the lessons that he learned and the things that he talked about still apply today. However, it's a lot easier for us. We're not, riding around in a Model T looking for, trying to find somebody's address. We can send them a Zoom link or a Whereby link and talk to them face to face from our desk. So if you want help, as long as you are collecting your data, and I'm working on projects with a couple of you specifically, and exactly, the plan. You collect your data, you send me the numbers, and we'll have one-on-ones, and I can help you strategize, game plan, help you accomplish what you want to accomplish. Because, like we said, everything has a price. I want you to know the price that you have to pay to get what you want, and never be in a situation where you're working towards something that you think you're going to get, and you're not going to get it, and then because if you don't, you'll be discouraged, right? And if you get discouraged, everything's tough. No one wants to trust you to take care of their family if you're discouraged and bummed, right? Like no one wants to be in business with you if you're discouraged. So make sure you have properly set clear goals that you're working towards that are going to get the result that you want. All right, so big announcement. This is I'm very excited about. A lot of you have taken advantage of the Super Saturday dial session that we started on Saturday mornings. We did that because none of us want to work on Saturdays, right? Us full-time people anyways. We work, during the week, and if you're part-time, hey, a lot of you guys work on Saturdays. It's the best day to work, but after you've worked all week, right, George? Working on Saturday, if you've already hit your numbers, not that exciting. However, we also know that if there's any little trick or sweet spot, it is Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and about 12:45. Okay. As far as you dialing leads, your dials to contact ratio is much higher on Saturday mornings than any other time. Right. So that's the best time to come in, book your appointments for Monday, go through the weekend knowing you have appointments booked. So to make it fun, we started doing a live broadcast. That way we all get on there together. You can see real live numbers, get coaching while it's happening, while you're on the phone. Since we've started that, I have seen people like Tyler Nelson, who's always on there, go from having trouble making a phone call period to submitting over $9,000 last month. And it's because rather than him trying to learn things the hard way by himself, making phone calls, he's on with people that are professionals that are very good at it. And we can say, hey, don't say it like this, say it like this, and get live coaching. And you can make those adjustments very fast. So that has been awesome for the live dials. So here's the announcement. That same link, which is on our PTP site, one of the first things at Super Saturday, I'm going to change the wording of it. Dave Schneider and Chuck have agreed that we're going to keep that link live all the time while we're through the week, while we're booking and selling live action, closing deals, working with clients. Okay. And I had to talk Christian into it. So I called Christian last night and I was like, look, I ain't saying you got to work all the time. I'm just saying when you are working and you're at your desk doing what you're doing anyways, pop the Zoom link on. So you guys are going to be able to hop on. It's going to be a lot more fun not being by yourself, and see real live action as it's happening, meeting with real clients, right? Making phone calls, depending on when you're on there might be nothing happening at all. Might be the most boring thing in the world. Well, that's real life, right? People might not be answering, but it's going to be happening on that call. So I'm not saying you have to clock in and be there all day. I'm not on there all day, but whenever I am dialing and I'm talking with somebody, I jump on the link, right? So you don't have to have your camera on and your mic on all the time, but you guys are, I think that is going to really fast track. I can't imagine how much faster I would have been able to, get that process down of controlling my cash flow when I was new. If I could watch somebody like Christian Pounder does 50 grand in a month and watch him meet with clients, talk to people and close deals, you're talking to somebody who ran 38 appointments before I ever wrote a policy. I was terrible. And whenever I did write that first policy, the lady that the client filled out the application, she was like, oh, I used to do insurance. I was like, oh, good. You probably know how to fill this out. And she filled out her own application, so I was terrible, but that is the point of everything that we've laid out. So you don't have to go through all in error and getting your butt kicked for a long time to be able to figure it out. Utilize that link, hop on. Me and Christian are going to be on. I haven't mentioned it to George Ramel yet because I wanted to put him on the spot. George Ramel, will you, when you're at your desk working, will you get on your meeting with your clients on Whereby? Will you run the Zoom meeting?
Yes, sir.
You will do it. Y'all all heard it. George Ramel said he's going to be on there. So, hey, look forward to seeing you on there. Everybody hop on. Everybody's welcome. Hop on, hop off, whatever. It's just open door, complete transparency. So, guys, I know there's a lot more fun stuff to do on a Friday afternoon than get on here and talk to me about insurance. So I really appreciate everybody for hopping on here. It's always a pleasure to link up with you guys. If you need anything, text me, call me, let me know. Let's build a lot of momentum. Keep that momentum all the way through to Christmas. No credit cards this year at Christmas unless you're stacking up airline points. We're paying cash for Christmas, y'all. Get some money flowing in, and we'll see you on the leaderboard.